Let's get into the AM news now, into our first story. Former President Mahama is asking government to, as a matter of urgency, scrap import charges and taxes on medication and kits for dialysis treatment. His comments follow a recent increment in the cost of dialysis services at the renal dialysis unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Now, speaking at an event to mark this year's UN International Day for the Aged, Mr. Mahama described as insensitive government's decision to pass on the cost of renal treatment to patients.
Uproar last week when an upward adjustment in the cost of dialysis services at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital from the initial 380 cedis to 765 cedis was announced. Many, including patients, expressed disappointment with that increment. The hospital management initially blamed the upward adjustment on taxes and import duties on medications and kits for the dialysis service. The new prices were, however, suspended following public backlash. Former President John Dramani Mahama, speaking at the Aged conference organized by the Los Abuelos Foundation, called on government to exempt medication and kits for the dialysis services from the payment of taxes and other duties.
Just this week, there was an uproar when the nation's premier teaching hospital, Kolebu, announced an increase in charges for dialysis treatment by 100%. This was threatening to put the cost of dialysis treatment out of the reach of many patients and their families. The explanation I have read from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital cites the increase in taxes and duties of materials for dialysis treatment as the main reason for their decision to hike the price by 100%. As an immediate measure, I call on the government to exempt medication and kits for dialysis treatment from taxes and duties to maintain this critical lifeline for patients whose survival depends on this treatment. The government should not be insensitive by passing on catastrophic healthcare costs onto the people with life-threatening diseases, especially the elderly.
On the government's debt exchange program, the former president described the inclusion of pensioners as cruel.
And let me add the recent cruel start by the government in the retirement income securities and of the elderly due to the domestic debt exchange. I'm sure you've all seen some of our elderly pensioners picketing the Ministry of Finance because the little local fuel they got, they want to put it into government bonds. And all over the world, government bonds are supposed to be the safest investment that one can make, because governments normally don't default on their debts. And so this is a novelty. I mean, the trust that our pensioners had when they put their small inside bonds, today they are suffering because of that.
National Secretary for the Ghana Government Pensioners Association, Sergio Quist, bemoaned the meager pension benefit some of their members receive every month.
Government must enhance the take-home pay of ordinary workers, not MDs, managing directors, not directors, not MPs, not presidents. They are taking enough already. In order to reflect handsomely in their retirement pay when they come on retirement. In fact, some retirement benefits are too meager to write home about. I have some members in my organization who take 40 Ghana cedis a month. Imagine that. 40 Ghana cedis a month. And some people are taking more than they can carry.
The first Aging Conference was organized by the Los Abuelos Foundation, a non-governmental organization which champions the welfare and rights of the aging population who suffer from abject poverty and various degrees of deprivation through advocacy, research, humanitarian intervention, and programs. Eunice Aban Asare is the Chief Executive Officer of the Los Abuelos Foundation.
The 1st of October on the UN calendar is set aside to celebrate the significant contribution of older persons to national development, and also to the community and the families as a whole. So today being the 1st of October, usually as a foundation, we try to commemorate this day by putting together a set of activities, just as you are witnessing today, to honor our heroes, our senior citizens. So what you're witnessing today is the first Ghana Aging Summit to commemorate this year's 2023 United Nations International Day for Older Persons. And as you get to know, the theme is fulfilling the promises of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights for older persons across all genders.
In our next story, officials of the Electoral Commission in the Techiman municipality of the Bono East region are hopeful that the number of persons queuing to meet the deadline for the ongoing limited registration exercise will be captured. Chairperson for the area, William Bamfo Apori Bampo, described the exercise as peaceful. And Sabit has been monitoring the situation and filed this report.
The ongoing limited voter registration exercise ends today. We've been monitoring the exercise from day one. Today is the 21st day, and we are back here at the Techiman, South Constituency EC office to monitor the final proceedings so far as this exercise is concerned. We've been speaking with the acting constituency EC chairperson, the person of Mr. William Apori, and here is what he's been telling us in relation to the conduct of the exercise from day one to date.
The process has been very smooth. We've had a wonderful 20 days of exercise, and today being the last day, you can see for yourself the number of people here. So far, we've been able to do about 5,780 registrations. So that is to say that we have been able to, up our game, pushed harder to ensure that whoever comes to get registered gets registered.
Talk of this exercise, various political parties have been, coming in and out of this particular premises. How cooperative have they been so far as this exercise is concerned? Mr. William Apori tells me that they've been very cooperative, and largely the exercise has been very smooth.
Honestly, these political parties have been very cooperative. They understood the rule of the game, and we all played together by it. Regardless of the circumstances, we get to review the rules here and there, but at the end of the day, we always get to a consensus. So they have been very wonderful.
Ghanaians are naturally, have this attitude of last-minute, responses. Today we've seen the numbers, swelling here. A lot of people are coming in to find ways and means of registering, to the EC boss here. What is his response to this particular attitude where people have to wait until the final minute before they come in to get themselves registered?
I would say on authority that my guys are on the ground, and together we are trying to ensure that we get everybody registered. Regardless of the circumstances, I'm sure probably management will offer the opportunity to consider persons who will be in the queue before 5 p.m. And once that approval is given us, surely tomorrow in the morning by noontime, we should be able to get everybody cleared.
One of the major challenges the Commission has been able to go through has to do with people attempting to double register, people who have already registered elsewhere are trying to get into the system again. But fortunately for the Commission, the online registration system has been able to fish out such personalities. But as at the close of yesterday, 95 persons have attempted to double register here in the Techiman South constituency.
The challenge we have as a Techiman Municipal Office of the Electoral Commission has to do with persons attempting to do multiple registration. When you interview further, you also get to realize that others really know exactly they have registered, but then they come in to have their names changed, thinking they can bypass the system. But little did they know that our system is online. And so running an online system has really helped us to be able to identify about 95 persons as of yesterday who attempted double registration.
20 days into the exercise, the Commission has been able to register some 5,780 persons, and this is made up of 2,955 males and 2,825 females, with about 1,692 of them, registering with their Ghana cards. So by the close of today, the EC is expecting a rise in the numbers to at least some 6,000 across the Techiman South constituency. From the EC office here in the Techiman municipality of the Bono East region, my name is Anas Sabit, reporting for JoyNews.
Now, the houseboy who allegedly murdered his employer at Apaso near Sokoban in the Ashanti region has pleaded guilty to stealing more than 167 1,000 Ghana cedis from a hotel owner while working as a receptionist. John Alistair, 22, made headlines last month for allegedly stabbing to death his employer 6 days after he got employed by 35-year-old Stella Osei, also known as Princess Efua Ahenka. With the help of accomplices, he sold his madam's Kia Sportage vehicle after bolting with bags of rice cooking oil and other assorted items. Ohibing Tewia filed this report.
According to prosecution led by ASP Stephen Ofori, the accused in 2022 was employed as a hotel receptionist at Bantama after he followed up on an advertisement for a vacancy. But after a month of working with the complainant, who is also the owner of the hotel, Alistair surprisingly stopped going to work. In July 2023, the accused person returned to the complainant for the second time to seek employment. The complainant allowed him to start work immediately because of his previous working relationship. On August 6, 2023, the complainant gave her Infinix Note 8 mobile phone to the accused person to help her with some settings. The accused person, however, bolted with the mobile phone and went ahead to withdraw an amount of 167,660 from the complainant's Absa Bank account using the mobile app on the phone. The complainant reported the matter to the police for investigations, and the accused person was arrested from his hideout in Accra. ASP Stephen Ofori told the Asokwa Circuit Court, presided by her Anna Vida Yabua, Alistair admitted the offense and told police investigators how he spent the amount by using part of the money to rent and furnish an apartment. The court, however, deferred sentence to Friday, October 6, 2023, after the accused person pleaded guilty. Lead prosecutor ASP Ofori is happy at the development.
He has been in Kumasi here with the same pretension to work as a receptionist for one Madame Gloria. And in the process, that's last year, July, and then accessed the phone and I was able to withdraw 167,660 from the woman's account at Absa Bank. So that was the case that we have brought him before the Asokwa Circuit Court here today. But he has pleaded guilty. He has now been convicted of the offense, the two counts, the mobile phone and the amount of their money. But the sentence has been deferred to Friday for sentence. As the facts being read to the court there's no way he could deny the charge. So he himself thought it wise to admit his guilt in order not to waste the prosecution's time.
Meanwhile, Alistair is expected to reappear before the Asokwa District Court this Tuesday on murder charges for the second time after being remanded into police custody. From Kumasi, for JoyNews, Ohibing Tewia reporting.
Now, details have emerged that 20 lives were lost from an accident that happened between Peki Jibu and Peki Ajoko last Wednesday. The accident occurred when a bus collided with a minivan, resulting in the death and injury of some passengers on board. Here's Peter Senu's report.
Two passenger vehicles, a Toyota Haze with registration number GT 1865-17, traveling from Wawe to Medina in Accra, and a Kia Grandbird bus with registration number AS 9801-21 from Accra to Chindiri in the Krachinchunu district in the Oti region were involved in the accident at about 10:30 a.m. last Wednesday morning. JoyNews police sources indicate that 20 people perished in the accident. Of the 20 were 4 children aged between 7 months and 11 years. 10 females and 6 male adults were also involved. 27 persons also suffered various degrees of injuries, made up of 24 adults and 3 children. The only person who died on board the Kia Grandbird bus was identified as the driver's mate. Sadder to note is that only 2 persons survived on board the Toyota Haze. They include the driver and a 3-year-old boy. Joining sources indicate that the cause of the accident is not yet known, as the two drivers are providing contrary accounts, with each of them trying to apportion blame to the other. Also worth reporting is a worrying situation where a man identified as the police commander for the Peki area ordering for the seizure of my camera for taking shots of the accident scene. The commander in the blue t-shirt is seen pointing at me and ordering this community police to come and take my camera from me.
You can't seize the camera. I'm a journalist. No, you can't do that. No, if you spoil it, you buy. Please, don't do it. Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, don't do it. Look, this is my. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't force it. Don't do it. No. No. Please, if you spoil it, you buy. No, please wait.
This incident got my journey truncated and delayed by the police for at least an hour before the camera was released to me. How I moved on from the accident scene to Kumasi is another story for a different day. Peter Senu for JoyNews.
That's the note on which we cap off the AM news this morning. Up next, the news review. Do stay.